and to have those allies along with us in the fight it just gives me chills just to know that it's not just queer folk who are in the fight for equality.
And that has always been the case. We can never do this work alone. And we should never do this work alone. And it has always been us and our comrades. I don't care which fight, which uprising you're talking about. We need everybody involved. Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn, and we've got an exclusive, fun interview for you today, okay? Because you already know we like to keep you informed, and I am excited to be part of Chicago's HRC Gala this year. And so we want to amplify that, and we've got some special guests in the building. So I would love for us to welcome Nick, VP of Strategic Initiatives and Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging with HRC. And then we got Steven joining us. He is on HRC Chicago Steering Committee. He's a volunteer out here doing the work because let me tell you, he might be a volunteer, but I hear from Steven so much. Okay, Steven is on it. What's going on, Steven?
The phone stays in my hand and Anna's number is on speed dial.
What's going on, Nick?
I can't complain, Anna. Thank you for having us. We're excited to be on. Make sure you have us back. Come on now.
Come on, not first time, not the last time, okay?
Okay, that's right. That's how we move.
That's how we move out here.
And can I just say really quick before we dive in, congratulations, Anna, on all the honors that you've gotten for your great work. Nick, I mean, just the 2025 Legend Award, Best LGBTQ Podcast, News and Politics, best solo host. What can you not do?
Wow.
It is incredible. I appreciate you, Steven. It is, I'm still taking that all in, especially the Legend Award. Legend is a big word. I'm still pretty young, so I'm gonna sit with that one for a little bit, but definitely sending a lot of gratitude. You caught me off guard on this one, Steven. I am sending a lot of gratitude for those awards and those honors,
take your flowers. Take your flowers now. Take your flowers.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm getting better about receiving them. Okay.
And sometimes we take awards and we treat them as things we are going to live up to. I had somebody do something similar, and I was like, "Y'all making me feel old." And then I realized I took it as a challenge to really become what I thought that award stood for. So, Steven, thank you for sharing that. I now know I'm in excellent company sitting on here. So I look forward to meeting you in person.
Yes, I look forward to that too. I appreciate that. Something to look up to. I received that message today for sure. And family, if you're not familiar with HRC, I don't know how you could not be, but just in case, they are the largest LGBTQ organization in the country. And Nick, if you could just tell the good people a little bit about what y'all do and how y'all show up in the world.
So you just said it. Number one, thank you. We are, what I say to folks when they go, I don't know the Human Rights Campaign. I'm like, are you driving a car? If you see that equal sign on a bumper sticker, it usually lets you know that the person in that vehicle is either an ally or their family. We are the largest LGBTQ plus. We represent all of the rainbow, right? You know, there is a home in the Human Rights Campaign. And so what we are doing is fighting for equality and equity at home, at school, at work. And so we've been doing this work for well over 40 years. We will be approaching 50-year anniversary soon. And the reality is we continue to fight for LGBTQ plus families all across the country. And we do that work. We have almost 4 million supporters about. And so the reality is we're growing every day. And, you know, I wish we were dealing with different times, but when people are looking for somewhere to join, we're available to you. We will not stop fighting. We will not back down. There are no kings here in this country, and we will continue to fight the good fight. I'm super thankful we are led right now by the first Black queer woman to lead the Human Rights Campaign in our almost 50-year history. I must give praise to my president, who is from Chi-Town, y'all. Let's be clear. She from the Chi, Miss Kelly Robinson. And so it is an honor to serve under her and is an incredible leader. And so if you are not already involved in Human Rights Campaign, we invite you to join us. You can go to www.hrc.org www.hrc.org. I don't know why I say that www. Just say hrc.org. If I ain't just aged myself back when it was the www. But for real, hrc.org. We're looking for you. You can get involved. If you are in the Chicago area, you can join our steering committee, which Stephen can talk about. But we have 33 steering committees across the country. We are somewhere you are, and if we aren't, we can get you involved. So that's our hope. Join us. We will not stop fighting for our rights.
I love it all. And y'all already can see Nick does this, okay? And to that point, Stephen, you are part of the steering committee here in Chicago, okay? And I would love to know why you decided to get involved in the first place.
It's an obligation. It is an obligation for us to protect our own community. And HRC, as Nick said, nearly 40 years, one of the longest running queer organizations that there is. And so, I mean, it was a no-brainer that I needed to be involved in the fight, because who's going to fight for me if I don't fight for myself first? Being a part of a larger community of like-minded individuals from across the country with united in one particular goal, and that's equality. It's simple. It's just we want to be treated as equals to everybody else and no discrimination. So it made sense. If I felt an obligation to be a part of this organization, and so proud to be in here in the third largest city in the country, Chicago chapter of the Human Rights Campaign.
Toot, come on.
If I could toot our own horn a little bit. The past couple of years, as part of the HRC, we've been named the steering committee of the year twice in a row. Our dinner, which we'll talk about in a little bit, has been dinner of the year. And it's just all about the people who are in Chicago and who are part of the Human Rights Campaign. We have so many allies, Anna, on our steering committee. It's not just queer folk, it's allies, and allies is what's going to, I think, take us over the finish line. So I'm so grateful for the volunteers. And again, it's an all volunteer on the local grassroots level here. And to have those allies along with us in the fight, it just gives me chills just to know that it's not just queer folk who are in the fight for equality.
And that has always been the case. We can never do this work alone. And we should never do this work alone. Right. And it has always been us and our comrades. I don't care which fight, which uprising you're talking about. We need everybody involved. And this is one of those moments. Y'all, we still got more than 3 years left to go in this situation. And Nick, one of the ways I know HRC is showing up in this moment is through the American Dreams Tour. And I would love for you to tell the good people a little bit more about that.
Thank you for that. So, the reality is, how do we get to marriage equality? How did we literally at HRC, they may say at other places, but I work at HRC. We talk about the way that we have changed this country and laws in this country is by changing hearts and minds. And so what we saw was that through sustained talking to folks, being in communities, having conversations. When we even think about, like, this is something I had to learn when I got to the Human Rights Campaign, that we helped start National Coming Out Day, right? And so the idea there was that, I tell people, my parents were homophobic before their child came out. The stuff I used to hear growing up, and now my mom running around telling her pronouns. I'm like, this is real. My grandfather, when I came out, my parents said to me when I came out, like, okay, we love you, you're our child, but don't tell your grandparents, right? It could kill them. My grandfather, when he passed away 3 years ago, was 102 years old. He knew when he left this earth that his grandchild was LGBTQ identified, had met a number of girlfriends. We'll deal with that another show. That's another show now. But my grandfather, in his own way, was a pastor, a teacher. And he said to me, I'll never forget, when marriage equality passed, he said, what do you think about that? And I thought, oh my God, where is my grandfather about to go? And he said, you know what, I think everybody has to answer to God for themselves. And I knew for my grandfather, coming from the greatest generation, that was his way of saying, I love you regardless, right? And so sometimes that's all we need. And I say that because his heart and mind was changed because his grandchild came out. And so when I say what American Dreams Tour about is collecting stories, we are trying to change hearts and minds. That's how we got marriage equality. There was a threshold in this country that began to see us when we tell our stories, when we show up. I always say it is difficult to hate people up close. We hate what we don't know. It's the same thing that we see happening with our transgender siblings. And so I often say to people who start that comment, I'm like, do you know a person who's trans? Because it's, you know, people are people at the end of the day. And so what I find is as you get people to share their stories, we're saying, listen, come out when it's safe to come out. But if you are out, share your story with us. And so part of the American Dreams Tour is we took it on the road. We are in communities having town halls all across the country where we're asking people to show up, ask the tough questions. Our president has been available to answer it along with our staff. We just left Columbus, Atlanta, many different cities. Hopefully we're coming to a city near you. But the reality is we are taking the questions and we're asking that you share your story. We are trying to collect a million different voices to talk about what was it like? What was it like, whether it's your coming out story or some story about what it means to be LGBTQ. And I personally think HRC is unique in our ability to get those stories out to people. And so I know it worked in my own family. And when I talk to people, you know, they often say, my family was changed when I came out. Before we started this interview, the three of us were having a conversation about our families a little bit and what that looks like as, you know, dealing with Trump supporters and MAGA supporters. And even when they're not MAGA supporters, how many independents stayed home during this election cycle? How many folks who you wouldn't have even thought would have voted for Trump felt uncomfortable voting for a Black woman? Now we see the consequences of that, right? But the reality is we have to be having these tough conversations. And so we have embarked on this tour to collect those stories. And it's beautiful to see.
I love this. I love this initiative because I truly believe that storytelling gives us a window into someone else's humanity.
Yep.
And everything you just said, Nick, is so important. People just really don't know another trans person. The data tells us this. GLAD has done the data,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? You know, folks just have no idea. I just recently commented on Facebook. Somebody was trying to compare Rachel Dolezal. I said, if you are trying to tell me that Rachel Dolezal, you're comparing Rachel Dolezal to one of my trans siblings, I know for a fact you don't know a trans person. It is
Right.
easy. It is so easy to demonize someone that you do not know and someone you
Mm-hmm.
do not understand. And it is until it becomes really personal for somebody
Right.
that their hearts and minds are changed.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter wars will not do it.
And can I say too that so many people paint just a broad stroke when
Mhm.
it comes to the LGBTQ plus community. We're like a monolith of just like one type of person. And Nick, as you know, all the local chapters, including here in Chicago on National Coming Out Day a couple of weeks ago, we captured people's stories. We probably had 2 dozen folks who came through and we recorded and we talked to them. We recorded their stories here in Chicago, and everybody's story is different, from coming out to their journey now to their cousin who's now coming out because they came out in their family.
Thank you.
Representation and just seeing somebody who's like you can help
Mm-hmm.
somebody else. Now everybody is on their journey at a different time, and we don't want anybody to be forced to come out. They'll get there when they get there, is what I like. It was what I like to say. But when they eventually
Mm-hmm.
stand in their own truth, it is so powerful, and it's so powerful for so many other people too. So we just have to keep remembering that too as we're
Right.
telling our story, because it will impact somebody else for sure.
It does every single time, every single time. And Stephen, with the work that you're doing on the steering committee for HRC, I would love for you to tell the good people about the dinner that's coming up that's helping to raise money so that HRC can continue to do this storytelling work and this work of helping to keep us all safe.
Yeah, absolutely. This year's theme, every year we have a different theme. This year we just really felt drawn to this theme of power through unity. because we are so much stronger when we work together than we're off in our different silos. And especially, as you know, given the headwinds that we have right now, at least for the next 3+ years, I don't even want to add the months into it. I'm going to start rounding down to help us out. But power through unity. We are so much stronger together when we work with different organizations who have the same goal of equality. So on November 15th here in Chicago, we're having our annual fundraising dinner and auction. It's at the Fairmont Chicago Millennium Park downtown. It's going to be a night of love. I've been telling everybody of like, so what is the night like? It's a night of love because you're in a room with 700 to 800 folks. You're sharing a meal. You're dancing. You're laughing. You're sharing stories with each other. And again, it's not just the queer community who comes out. We have so many straight allies who come to support us and our mission of equality. It's all like-minded folks just gathered in that ballroom. We're hearing stories. We're hearing politicians talk about the fight ahead and how they are going to fight. Maybe Nick will be there from the national organization to give the spiel of what HRC on a federal level is doing to help protect the rights of LGBTQ plus people and families. So it's just a night of love, and we want everybody to be there that can be there, because every dollar that we raise in that evening helps fund this fight. It is funneled back to Human Rights Campaign and their mission for equality, for fighting for equality, but also in helping support pro-equality candidates. We've got a midterm election coming up, and I'm sure Nick can talk about that a little bit as well. But the money that's raised doesn't just stay in Illinois, it goes across the country, especially in areas where equality is really so much on the line. I think about Virginia for one, and the governor's race there. But we are trying to win back the House and the Senate in this next go around. So all the funds that we can raise for the Human Rights Campaign and supporting pro-equality candidates across the country will get us that much closer to winning back the majority and stopping this train wreck of the Trump administration.
And we are in a train wreck in this moment, right? I've been telling folks that we are living in hell right now. And as we're recording this, we're still in the midst of this government shutdown. So Stephen, as you uplift the midterm elections, as you uplift, folks who believe in our humanity who are running for office, Nick, how does HRC support those folks? How is the money that we're going to raise in Chicago, because we need them to be the top go-getter again, okay? Where does that money go to, and how are y'all supporting folks who are running for office right now?
Yeah, the reality is, Stephen said it, equality is on the ballot everywhere. There, I am a Floridian born and raised. Pre the Trump administration, I had both of them living as Floridians. DeSantis, I call him Governor Disaster, and President Trump were both Floridians. And the reality, I used to travel across the country, and people would hear I'm from Florida, they'll say my condolences. What I tell people, I was like, be careful what you say, because now the country is Florida, the country is Texas. And so the reality is they put these terrible policies in place in these very conservative places, and then they just simply rinse and repeat and take them on the road. And so the reality is, folks didn't believe us when we were talking about how bad a second Trump administration would be. We support candidates from across the country where we are fighting for equality in a city near you, right? Equality is on the ballot, whether that's, all elections matter, from national elections all the way down to local elections. Our work is primarily at the national level, but we are absolutely involved in our communities, right? Endorsing for Congress, endorsing local senators and representatives, representatives. So we do that work and support candidates, whether that's financially, whether that's through our platform that we have built out. I often say to folks that I don't just work here, I also am a donor, and I don't play by my money, y'all, right? And so I believe in us and how we are good stewards of what we use. We didn't even think about, we use language when we kept saying steering committee. Somebody listening is like, what is a steering committee? The reality is it costs a lot of money to have brick and mortar offices all across the country. But what we do have is a strong volunteer committee, group of volunteers all across the country, folks like Stephen who help us come together in a city and put together our structure to do our work locally. And that's what we call a steering committee. And we're looking for you. And so I often say we want your time, talent, treasure, or testimony. The reality is I need at least one, but I really want all four of them, especially at a time right now. I hear from folks all over the country, we don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, then give to an organization that does. A Project 2020 is complete, right? And so when we start to understand these people are moving quickly and the things that they're doing, the world as we knew it is no more. But what I still believe in is we can create a better one. But we're going to have to do it together, and we're going to have to do it together quickly. For folks who thought, well, it won't impact me, I sit back now, I have to fight and do this work. I want to, but I ain't going to lie, I have moments. I have my tea and popcorn. I'm like, oh, you thought he wasn't coming for you. You thought he was coming for people like me that look like me. Oh no, they coming for all of us. And that's the reality. And so there is no identity that I believe you possess where you will be okay. The reality is, unless you are a white, cisgender, heterosexual, Christian male in this country, they're coming for all of us. And I would argue you're not safe in that, because what happens when this world collapses? You need all of us. And so the reality is, when you say, what do we do with that money? We are supporting candidates across the country. And we also have our equality programs where we have other things that we do, whether that's welcoming schools programs. When you look at K through 12 learning that used to center LGBTQ students, a lot of that was work created and born out of the Human Rights Campaign. And we help educate you before you go to the polls and say, hey, are you aware these are the issues on the ballot? We probably have endorsed in your governor's race, in your senator race, in your congressional races. We're endorsing in all of those. In your state house races, sometimes we're endorsing in those, but we're here present fighting for your rights. And we're making sure that the candidates you choose are candidates who are on the right side of history on your issues.
And Nick, I knew you was from the church when you said time, talent, and treasure, and then you added testimony, my friend.
Testimony.
I said, I know this language. I know you. Okay.
I did.
And everything you're saying is so important as we look at what's happening in the Supreme Court, the cases that the Supreme Court is handling right now. We look at what they're trying to do, rolling back the 1965 Voters' Rights Act. There's so many things, family, right now on the ballot.
And they're coming for marriage equality too. We've already been told that.
Marriage equality, conversion therapy, bathroom bills. I mean, literally, family, every piece of life they are absolutely going after, and it's always been coordinated and it's always been well funded. And so, Stephen, November 15th, here in Chicago, we are partying and raising money. Now, can you tell the good people how they can actually get a ticket so that they can see all of us looking good and fly that night?
That's right. Absolutely. It's so easy. It's tickets.hrc.org, and it will bring you up to our ticket page, and the ticket prices range. We have a VIP level package where you'll have a private bar, which is so important when you get a bunch of a private bar. You got to upgrade. I was about to say, you got to upgrade your ticket.
Who you telling? Could you repeat where I get those tickets? I didn't hear that.
Yes, and I didn't do the www.
You're right. Don't do it like that.
It's not needed no more, Steve.
It's tickets.hrc.org, and you'll see our Power Through Unity logo right there when that page comes up, and when you click on that, it gives you the different levels of ticket options. We even have discounts for first time attendees, $75 off tickets.
Yeah, come get your cherry pop.
So you just Okay. All
Come on,
Let's
right.
go,
easy. I'm
I
queer.
doing
like
it
I
too
like
cute.
that. Let's but like I said before, it's just a night of love, and you're just going to be surrounded with like-minded people in the room, and you're just going to have a lot of fun. And
That's right.
let me say really quick one as well. We are honoring a lot of the local community partners that we like I said, we're stronger together. So this year we're taking that theme to all of the community partners that we have here in Chicago when it comes to fighting back against the oppression that is being placed upon our community every single day. Chicago is doing the Lord's work right now, and in like all the King's Day marches and the no hand and the hands off marches and things like that. Um, we're
They
they
really
really
are.
are across the country, not just here in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. So we want to make sure
Mm-hmm.
we're honoring them. We're honoring. I don't know if you saw if your listeners and viewers saw the video of the alderperson in Chicago who got roughed up by ICE agents just simply for
Yep.
asking for a warrant, at the hospital. And
Well,
Yeah.
I saw it. We saw it.
Family. Steve was talking about Alderwoman Jesse Fuentes of
Mm-hmm.
26th Ward.
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be honoring their work in the community. Jolie Robinson may not be a household name, but she is a champion of the queer community. She runs the Center on Halstead here in Chicago. We're honoring her.
I love this, Stephen. One second. I feel like I know everybody on this list. Let's go.
Yeah.
Jolie was just named to the Out 100
Yep.
list. And Center on Halstead is the largest Midwest LGBTQ center, period. And it's housed right here in the city of Chicago. Jolie has been fantastic, and I'm glad she's calling Chicago home.
Yes, absolutely. We're so honored to have her join us that night. So that's just a tip of the
Mm.
iceberg of what people can expect when they come to. Did I say there's going to be a lot of love in the room?
You did.
Yes. So
And a private bar if you get the right ticket, okay?
You
that's right.
did. Private bar. And
Yes.
in a time when safe spaces are disappearing, right? The reality is come
Mm-hmm.
party. Where else you get to dress up? Like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, dress up, come join us, have a good time.
You can also come as you are. You don't have to get to the
Hmm.
nines. Come as you
Well, I
are.
mean, dress up. You come
Yeah,
fly.
come
Come
fly.
fly.
Come
Whatever
fly.
fly is
Dress
for
to
you.
impress.
You likely to see me in some slacks and some J's.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the reality. So
I
come as
I
you
think I've
are.
seen
It's
those J's
family.
in the past
You
too.
have. I
Yes.
got a number of
Yes,
J's.
right.
I do have a problem. That's for a show another day. But the reality is, come as you are. We want you there and know that, like Stephen said, it's a space full of love where we're there to support you. You're going to have a good time if you haven't been to an HRC gala.
And I will say, if you're not in Chicago and you're listening to this, there are dinners all across the country that happen all throughout the year. So you don't have to just fly into Chicago. We'd love for you to come, but look up in your town and in your community and check out the steering committee in wherever you are. Because as Nick said, there are more than 30 across the country, and so chances are there's one near you, and they are doing exactly what we're doing here as well throughout the year. So, yeah.
I just want to say, Nick, thank you for the work you're doing on the federal, national level. Yes, for queer
Thank
folks.
you.
Stephen, thank you for the work you're doing here in Chicago, gathering us to party, okay, and raise money for HRC and family. All the information, all the links you need are in the show notes right now. Click the link, get a ticket. Click the link, even if you can't make it, donate it. Donate the ticket to somebody else
That's
who
right.
can't afford it, right? We are all we got in this moment. Period. We must sustain and support these organizations so they're here for the next generation. Yes, we got a long fight ahead. I know we're talking about the next 3+ years, child. This is going much longer than that. And we need to be funding our organizations, yes, so we can continue the fight. Because when we fight, we win.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
You already know, family. This is Queer News on E3 Radio. We are Queer News done right. Peace.